Well, energy security has over the years become an issue of great importance, but today it's considered critical in international relations, for global safety, and even for the mere survival of humanity.
The renewed focus on energy security is driven in part by an exceedingly tight oil market and high oil prices, but also by the threat of terrorism, instability in some exporting nations, geopolitical rivalries, and the fundamental need for countries of energy to power their economies.
Right, so to discuss the growing importance of energy cooperation, we are joined live in the studio by Dr. Kim Yeon-gyu. Dr. Kim is the director of the Center for Energy Governance and Security at Hanyang University, and also a professor of international relations. Professor Kim, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I think it's now safe to say that energy security no longer stands by itself, but is really entrenched in the larger relations among nations and how they interact with one another. I'm sure the global energy security issue was discussed at the annual Pacific Energy Summit last week, and I know for a fact that you were there yourself.
Yes.
So why don't you give us an overall I suppose, a view of that, and tell us how Korea fits into that equation.
Sure. The Pacific Energy Summit, which was organized by National Bureau of Asia Research of the United States, the reason that they held this conference in Seoul this year is quite important. I mean, given the situation in Northeast Asia here, the U.S. success of shale gas revolution and rising oil and gas prices, and Russia is pivoting to Asia. I think the United States is looking to increase the shale gas exports and shale oil exports to the Northeast Asian region. That was one of the issues on the agenda.
So how does Korea fit into the whole global energy security equation?
Along with China and Japan, Korea is one of the biggest LNG and oil importers in this region, and we are trying to diversify from the Middle East suppliers to the United States and potentially to Russia.
I remember we used to always say in Korea, not a drop of oil in this country, but things have changed quite significantly.
Right.
And Korea is also looking to become what's called the oil hub, a center of logistics and trading services, and it actually serves as a commercial storage tank terminal in the major World Sea Road. So, Professor, why is Korea being named as such?
Right, that's one of the rapidly emerging situation here, the trading hub for both oil and gas. The reason behind it is the sheer spike in consumption in this region. So that oil and gas imports are increasing. Naturally, I think there is emerged the need to found some trading hub, infrastructure and financing, a hub at the same time. And then so that oil and gas imports and exports are traded in a more smooth fashion. And Korea is ideally located in Northeast Asian region compared to China, which has shallow waters and foggy weather. And Japan, as you know, geographically, due to disasters and earthquakes and tsunami type of disasters, right? So Korea is ideally located to become a hub for both oil and gas.
So geographically well situated, I suppose. Now, back in May, we heard of this Russia-China big historic gas deal, $400 billion, 30-year-long contract, which sparked a lot of excitement in the global community. Now, the scope of this deal only highlights the growing importance of, I suppose, cooperation in the field of energy. What is the significance there?
Sure. I mean, everybody discusses that. I mean, just May 21st, signing of Russia-China gas agreement, which is a counter move against potential U.S. shale gas exports and oil exports. The significance of Russia-China gas deal and also oil deal is they're trying to secure at least 20% of the market here in this region, both China, Japan, and Korea. And then, it's spiking, a rivalry between Russia and the United States. As a Korea, I think we need to strike, optimum balance between these new suppliers, in addition to Middle East. That's quite an important issue.
Well, Russia, South Korea, and North Korea joining forces for a project, a gas pipeline project that is. It's huge economically as well as geopolitically. What is your outlook on this particular project, Professor?
I think once Russia signs an agreement with China, then the next step, I think, will be either Japan or Korea. We had some agreement made already 3 years ago, August 2011. Although since 2011, no progress, but after Russia-China gas deal, a lot of hopes for continuing to discuss so-called the Korean gas pipeline. So we need to look into, these formerly delayed Korean gas pipeline issues.
Well, definitely an economic issue, but it will definitely have a diplomatic and political implications as well, I suppose, attracting North Korea into the global economy.
Right. President Putin is going to visit Japan, and probably at some point next year, he's going to visit Seoul also. So we need to, restart the negotiation with Russia on these issues.
We'll definitely keep an eye on that. All right, Dr. Kim Yeon-gyu, Director of the Center for Energy Governance and Security at Hanyang University. Thank you so much for speaking with us this evening.